Okay, so here we go. This is our recording. This is Design 350. It's our lab. It's week 10. We're going over our Wednesday and we're on a Google Meet. And so I've made a few changes here. One, on the things to do, I eliminated the section view stuff. I think you have enough to do with these readings and getting your project going.
I can't see your screen.
Oh, I need to share my screen. I'm recording it, I'm just not sharing it with the Google Meet people. Okay, there we go. And click, it's not flashing anymore. So in the skill development, there's just the theodolite readings using those stadia marks, which I demonstrated on Tuesday, and then the project one drawing set progress submittal. And I want to go get you guys really going on that and give you kind of a methodology for that. So that's where we're going to work today, tomorrow, and Friday, mostly in here, because that's what you're going to really be able to show with your portfolio. Now, I did put into the discussions a place for you to put Project One research materials. And so, Leah, I know that you have a bunch of materials to put in there. You've got some DMV requirements for tiny houses or trailers. You've got some demographic information for the Hamul area. You have some zoning information. But anybody who finds good, solid data that can help back up what we're doing. Oh, and you also have a similar, a group of similar, at least one similar site. So anybody who comes up with some data is free to post it into here. But in reality, Leah has done a lot of that work already through her efforts in the Design Hub. And that was one of the reasons we were focusing her on this. And so look into there in the next day or two to get some of that background information that we're going to be talking about. So the rest of it is going into the drawing set progress submittal, and I'm going to show you a way to get started. Sometimes you look at something, you go, where do I start? And you start on the first page, or you start on what looks hard because you know you're going to have to work on it, or you start on what's easy. So I'm going to have us start on what's easy and get a bunch of that going, and then you can go do some of the other stuff. So here we go. I'm going to come down to sheet one, do the project proposal, and these county maps, area map, and vicinity map are pretty easy. So I'm going to do one of those just to show you how to get it done, and and then I'll let you do the other two. And then I'm going to skip the project data for now because I don't have it in my brain yet, but we've done this. So I can do one of those. So I need to get San Diego County. So there it is right there. kind of a kind of a weird county, right? And and actually, is it in San Diego County? Now that I'm looking, where is it? Where is Hamul? Did we get that it's not Did I get it in a different county? What county
Uh,
is this?
Hamul is just out. It's still considered San Diego County, but it's right underneath El Cajon. If you go
Right.
down a little bit, there's San Diego, and then over to the right a little bit, there's Hamul.
Okay, but is that? Oh, that's because it said San Diego instead of San Diego County. There we go. I was freaking out there. I said, "What was that?" And that looks really easy to draw, right?
Yes. A lot easier than the last one.
Yeah, so here I go. I'm going to take my snip. I'm not even going to get a scale, and it even shows Hamul there. I'm going to save it. And then I know that I can put that on my San Diego County map detail. So I'll go to my drafting views, San Diego County map, and it's got to fit in there. So I will do insert my image. There it is, import an image, and I can pop it right in there. And it's huge, right? Somebody was asking me, oh, what happens if it's too big? So I'll put it there, and I see that its width is 1 foot 5 inch, and I want the width to be about, I think, 5 inches. There we go, perfect. Now it's going to fit right in there. Okay, and now I'm going to save this because I want to keep my base map or my base file. So I'm going to call this Project 1 RS working file. I'll call it. So that's the one that I'm working in. You can call yours whatever you'd like. Okay, so it's got to save itself and all that kind of stuff. But this one isn't too hard to draw. And I'll probably put on some of these main roads and things like that. Okay, but let me right click and I'm going to override those graphics in view and try to give it some transparency. Will it let me do a half tone on it? It really won't. So I'm stuck with that. That's okay. I'll go to my annotate and do some detail lines. And I'll pick wide lines. And I don't have to get too exact. You can see I'm being kind of not super exact. But somebody will be able to recognize it as San Diego County. Now here I think I'm going to try to draw a little bit of the bay here. But I'm not going to do the other bay. Because it just needs to kind of represent San Diego County. So that's sort of my San Diego County. Now I'll go with maybe some thin lines. Maybe I'll do medium lines. And I'll get a couple of these major freeways. 15 is obviously a big one, right? 15 coming down through here. So that's 15. And then we know I-5 comes down another one. And I'm just kind of getting it kind of close. And I don't have to put them all in here, of course. And 8 is a huge one, so let me put 8 in there. And then I'll put this 94 going on it. And so I'm doing those because they just seem like they're pretty major ones. And now here's the trick, and you want to go ahead and put some text on those. And I'm just going to put it in a text box, and that's way too big. But you'll do some nicer work on that. But here's what I really want to do. I want to make some sort of a region around Hamul. And yeah, I'll do ortho crosshatch. That sounds okay. And so that's identified. Maybe I'll just make it gray. There we go. Let me turn it to solid black, edit the type, duplicate, gray. So that's how you do that. And I'll pick kind of a gray. And there we go. So now I've got that. And this is my county map. And what does my other map say? Right? This is my county. And if I come down here to my project proposal, the next one says Hamul area map. So I'm just going to identify that as the Hamul area.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
As far as the county map, would you keep that map, the original map behind it, or would you delete that and just keep your own
I
drawing?
have to delete it.
Okay. That's
Right?
what I thought. I just want to
Yep.
make sure.
So I'm going to go like that. Delete. You'll put your numbers in. And now I need a piece of text that calls this, and I'll make it small. Okay, so that's about what you're going to do. Okay, you're gonna put the county boundary in. You're gonna put in the major freeways. What I didn't do is do a nice job doing these. You can do a little bit more on that if you want, just to make sure that you know what they are. And then that's letting somebody, okay, I know where Hamul is now. And that shows up, of course, on your project proposal. And there it is. Now, some um, some architects want you to get rid of the boundary on there. I'll leave it up to you as to whether, as you go through these, that you get rid of these. Some places do, some places don't. For sure, I probably want them a little thinner. So right now they're listed as wide lines, and I might take them to thin lines so they don't overshadow the whole thing. So there's a little bit of work for you to do in doing that. Now I want to show you how I got rid of the the scale. So if I click on this thing, darn it, I'm not doing that right. Why is that not coming up? That should come up for me. I'm looking for the view information to come down here. Why is that not coming up? Wow, that's really weird. Usually the scale comes up over here. Well, I'm going to have to figure that one out. I don't know why that's not doing that. There it is. Oh, it's probably because I got rid of it. So when you click on it, so here I'm on this little scale thing down here. If you double click on it, it comes up down in the lower corner. Click custom display name and put a couple of spaces in there. Okay. And I don't know where that is on the rest of this stuff up here. I don't know. I don't know why you can only see it there, but now it's gone away. So you're going to want to do that. Okay, so you can easily get these. Then you'll do Hamul, and you'll put a little filled region on top of the site here. And then over here, you'll get in a little bit actually, let me do this. Let me actually do these.
I was just going to ask if you needed to do a um, like a close up of Hamul.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here now we've got Hamul. And we can see it a little bit easier, right? So we've got Hamul, and I can take a snip of that. So this is my Hamul area map. And back in Revit, here we go. Insert port. Oop, wrong spot. I have to get up to my detail. Insert import image, Hamul area map. And again, that gets changed to 5 inches wide. And I'm going to draw again. And I'm not going to take a lot of care. You can take a little more care. But this is going to be the wide lines, right, to start with. That's a pretty big bump, so I can draw that one. Notice it just has to kind of look like it a bit.
And you
And
just go to Google to find the area
yeah,
maps, right? Okay.
yeah, you just literally you type it in and away it goes. And then we've got our Del Campo Road, which is Highway 94, right?
And then we would just need to list in the San Diego map some of the main cities that are around.
And you don't even need that, really. You're
No?
just saying, "Hey, I know I'm in San Diego County. I've got Hamul. I know where Hamul is. But what I need to do on here now is go back to here to this, and now I need to put down what is it? 2941 Pioneer,
Yes, I believe so.
and I need to show sort of where that is. Okay, so that's sort of down around here somewhere, right? So I can kind of figure out that it's down in this little lower area. So let me put that over here. And so now my filled region on this one is going to be down like right around here. And this then is going to be the vicinity map. So we know that not only in the county we know kind of where it is, now we know kind of where this is too. Okay? And then of course we have to get rid of that. And these lines were too heavy. I put those on thin a moment ago. And so that will show up down here. So we know where in the county it is. There's San Diego County. And so we know, oh, okay, I got it. It's down toward the bottom and kind of over here. And this is Hamul itself. And sort of down around this area is sort of where the site is. So now let me go get that one. So now I can snip that to let somebody know about where it is. It's sort of near Trails End and Pioneer Way, right? And that's right where it is. So that becomes site vicinity. And it's still not the site plan, it's just kind of getting you oriented to where it is. Okay, hold on a sec. Need to check a message just really quickly. Okay, don't need that. And so now, again, it's back up. Here we go. That was site vicinity map. Insert my image. Make it 5 inches wide. And now I do have to do a little bit better tracing on this one. So now I can go with my medium lines for the main roads. Because you sort of need, and you don't need them all. But you have to be able to get it so somebody can find this thing. So that would probably, looks like I probably want maybe, maybe this one in here too, and this one. Just enough so that, so as you get in close, you can really identify what's going on. And it helps people to know, well, how built up is this area? Is there a lot of stuff around here? Is there only a little stuff around here? So this one probably takes a little bit more work. And you'll have to work with your text size so that you can identify like a couple of these. Proctor Valley Road would be important. Pioneer, obviously. And then my region is, it's really right here, right? That's my site. So now we're telling them what's around the site. And can even give it an address. Okay, and I don't want to do everything, but I'm giving you kind of an idea of what you would do. So you see how that goes. So this box, let me put it in here. This box represents this, and this box represents this, and your site plan will represent that. And that's what we want to get down to eventually. Okay? And so these don't have to be awesome, but they want to be enough so that somebody could go, okay, I've got myself oriented. I know where things are. Okay? Any questions on that?
I don't think so. Actually, what about the project data?
We'll go over that one on another one
Okay.
because I'm starting at the start and I'm doing the stuff that's super easy first. Okay, so I'll give
Okay.
you more information on project data later.
Okay, perfect.
But
Thank you.
look, you just got three, that's 1/10 of the whole work done.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Okay, general notes. These just come out for you. It'll just happen. There shouldn't be much to do. Proposed use case. Now, local services, similar project map. Local services. This is going to be kind of interesting. You want to know what's around there. So you'll probably go back to Hamul, but you have to do a little thinking on this one. So now I'm going to go back to Hamul. And we want to know what's around. So let's look at restaurants. Oh man, there's not much in Hamul. Like, that's kind of like, ugh.
They have a casino though.
They do. They have the casino. Um, and
I wonder if
so
I wonder if they have food options there.
they do. Actually, I've looked it up.
Okay.
They do. But that's going to be kind of telling you, ooh, there's not much there for food. Let's go back. Let's look at, no, I don't, that's what I did wrong. I want Hamul. Transit. So transit doesn't look too bad. Okay, there is transit, and the transit does go to the area where there was stuff. So the question is, how often does it run and things like that. But so you can put in that there's local services, there's transit.
And those things would tie in really well for the fostered youth.
They would. How about takeout? Dang. Okay, not much
Not
take.
much.
Now here's the nice thing. If you Google this, it's 10 or 15 minutes away, and nowadays with DoorDash, it's not that bad. But
So
it's not
so,
really.
how are you able to find out that information, though, staying right there in Hamul?
So what you do is I've got my Hamul, California up, right? I looked for Hamul, California, and this comes up, and then these things happen at the top. And you can do this nearby button,
Okay, okay,
nearby, and then restaurants, hotels, bars and pubs, or you can look for other things.
okay.
Transit, you can look up education.
I was just gonna ask where the nearest college was.
Um, let's look up community college. So there's that one. It's not too far away, actually. And then here's the cool thing. If you do, um, if you look up 2941 Pioneer Hamul and do that same thing, hold on a sec, nearby, and type in transit. If you click on one of these, it tells you how far away it is. It's 4 minutes by car. Okay, and then you can change it to be I think you can change it to walking down here. It's 34 minutes to walk. Okay, how about this one? 31 minutes to walk. How about
I
this one?
wonder, though, if that's
37
just
minutes.
I wonder if there's, like, an alternate route, though, like, off of the main road?
Doesn't look like it.
No?
Okay, but it's 4 minutes by car. So these are just things that you want to know, right? If you've got a car or a bike, so what is it going to be on a bike? They don't show that, but it's probably 10 minutes on a bike, right? Or maybe you need a car and a place to park. So these are things that you can figure out. Now, if I type in um, instead of transit, community college, it's 2 hours walking, but it's only 15 minutes by car. So this would tell you that whoever is going to be in the spot is going to need a car, right? And that's not bad. 15 miles, 15 minutes away, because that's also where the restaurants were. This shows a few more. Brody's Burgers. And it's 7 minutes. Certainly not like right next door. There's a bunch of them here. bunch of them here. So things are about 15 minutes away from this site. That has to be taken into account, right? It has to be taken into account. So definitely you got to have parking for because whoever comes to this spot is, either needs a super well funded Uber account or there has to be parking. So you're going to just go through here and you're going to take a bunch of snaps and you're going to place some of these in here. Or you can even just put a region here that this is really where all of the services lie, except for this. So when it comes to here, I'm going to take a copy of my Hamul stuff. I think I can. And put it into my local services. There we go. Oh,
So you just copy and paste that?
yep, it was a control C and a control V.
Perfect.
Okay. And so now, of course, if you want to, you can get right on it. But you can leave this and you can leave this and you can put transit in here. But really, most services are in this region. And you would just write area of concentrated services. Oh, and you could list what they are right down here. Right? Transit, groceries, community college, whatever you find, restaurants, all that other kind of stuff. And you can even put a note in here. And then you would also want to check and then you would say how often the transit runs, right? Because if the transit only comes by once a day, that's not going to be very useful, right? Actually, let's change this to save my project. So this is the type of thing that really helps people understand your project. If the transit runs every hour, that's really cool. If it runs every half hour, that's cool. If it only runs once a day, that's not nearly as useful, right? And again, I'm going to go ahead and change those to thin lines. And now you can see how this starts to tell a story. This is about the proposed use case. Here's the zoning, here's your similar projects, and you say you found a similar project, and we'll go back to that another time. We'll talk about these, um, but this is the map that you can do right away. You can
Okay, and then
just
so for
nail it.
the local services, you don't need to add what local services there. I mean, like down at the bottom, yes, the local services, but you don't need to put those on the map of like where the restaurants are, where the transit is, or things like that.
Not really, because in this case they're all grouped right over there.
Okay.
If it was like this is where all the healthcare was, and this was where all the groceries were, and this was where um, the restaurants were, if they were kind of grouped, or if they were evenly spread out, then you would probably put some in. But in this case, it's like you don't. I mean, you're just giving an idea. And since everything is within 15 minutes by car, right? The groceries, the community college, the restaurant. I think I even saw that there was health care there. There's some sort of health care. Now, I don't think that I think there was even a social services somewhere nearby.
Yeah, I know that there's a bunch of mental health services, I believe 19 minutes away by car.
Right. And so you could maybe even expand this a few more bit. So, you know, it's just to give the idea so somebody it's not um it's a preliminary draft visual so somebody can understand your project
Okay.
is
And
what's
then
going on.
oh, so then the zoning up above there, would we just put it as the rural residential, or do we put information on it?
This one's gonna be information, 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 and here's where you're going to be putting um, actual actual locations.
Okay.
Okay, so I have to show you how to do those, but this one is going to come up with information, and I'll wait until you post your stuff into the discussion board to show where we're going to pull that and get that from.
Okay, and then how do I just post a link, like a sharing link into the discussion board?
Yes, you can
Okay.
either post a link or you can download it as a PowerPoint and put the PowerPoint in, but a link is just fine.
Okay.
That'll be cool. Um, okay, so that gives you another one. So there's 4 of the 30 views to do kind of right off the bat that you can do. Your compliance statements, there's nothing to do just yet. There's nothing there. So let's look at the existing site plan. Okay, well, that said I want my boundaries and a 3D view. So let's go up and look. Let's see. Existing site plan, datum level. Let's see what it looks like. Well, that looks cool. I can work with that, right? So now I want to make a duplicate of this so that I don't ruin this. I always keep my things that got brought in kind of clean. So I'm going to make a duplicate of the view, and this is site plan rename property lines. And they are existing. Site plan property lines existing. And now you know what to do with this, right? You change this to override graphics in view and set it for something that's pretty light. And a very lightweight. right? So you barely see it in the background, and we can even lighten it up more later on if we want to. And then we know this is, I really want these to be property lines so that I can tag them. So I'm going to go property lines. Now I do want to be a little bit closer. So this looks like an arc. And this one looks pretty straight, not quite straight. So I like to use the arc command when I do this because it gets me really close.
How can you see that? It's
Well,
so
I
light.
can see it on my screen,
Okay,
you
it's
know,
really light
so
on this one.
yeah, I lightened it up pretty much to begin with, but I'm just, you'll see, it's basically I just want to demonstrate that I'm using the arc command. Even though some of the lines are pretty straight. There we go, got property lines. And now I'm going to darken those up, right? Override graphics by element, property lines, color. I'm going to darken up the color. And I usually have to give it a little bit more weight. That looks pretty good. Now, I've got a couple of things. I want to know, what do I want to know out of this, right? I want to know what's right over here, so I have to be able to, it's just like any good one. I need to put this stuff on there. So I need this to say Pioneer Way 2491, and that's way too small. So this one should be bigger. 2491. Oops, this just says Pioneer Way. So I know that Pioneer Way is out here. So that identifies what it is, right? And I can even put this down in here. Um, but somewhere on here, I need data, right? That says where this is. So this is existing property 2491 Hamul, California. So I've got that in here. And then it's nice to give some sort of a scale, right? Don't we talk about that? That it's good to have a scale. So I'm going to go ahead and create a scale, and I'll just put it over here, and I'll make it like 100 feet long. Maybe I'll make it 200 feet long. Cut that in half. Cut that in half, and cut that in half, and then I usually cut one more in half. Okay, so now I can make a filled region of that gray, right? Let's see if it'll let me do this. Sometimes it says no. No, they overlapped. So I can only do these upper two, and I can do the lower two. And then I can go ahead and put my text in here. And you'll be able to line these up. Oops. So now I've got a scale. So somebody goes, wow, that's pretty big. Let's see. I'm going to measure it out by hand. 2, 4, 6. Oh, that's 750 feet, man. That's a nice big property, right? And if I click on here, it tells me how many square feet it is. So I can turn that into acres. And I just do that by typing this number into, so 203,610. 4.67 acres. Ha, that's how quick it is, right? So I'm going to just put in a piece of text here. And that should be a larger piece of text. Okay, and it just lets somebody kind of know. Now, I do also need some elevations, which is why I needed to keep my topo in there. So I need to get my spot elevations. And let me get my scale set right. This is 1 inch equals 60. Let me see what it's going to look like down here. My scale might be off. Sorry. Existing site plan. So 1 inch equals 60 will fit. That's not too bad, but I'm going to have to move some of this stuff around a little bit to get it to fit well. So my 1 inch equals 60 is not too bad. But these look like they should be maybe not be quite so big. I'll change them to 1/8. I'll move them a little bit. And I'll look at my view size and I'll try to squeeze that down just a little bit. Just so that it fits a little bit nicer on that page. So let's see what it looks like. There we go. That's going to fit pretty well. Now I can say how big my spot elevations are and things like that. So there's just a lot of going back and forth, right? You just need to work on it to make it look good. So I'll turn off my crop view. And I'll zoom in a bit and I'll put in some spot elevations. And that might be coming up a little too small. Now it looks like it'll view okay, but I want these to look like they're in a nice spot. And it goes everywhere where there's a, is this really 0 all the way around? Nope.
I was wondering the same thing.
And you place these usually so they show up like above a quadrant or to the left or to the right. Right? So you're just going to go through and do these all the way through. So that's what you're going to do all the way around. And it won't hurt, even though we're not really showing this as a topo. Sorry. To show these main points. So that somebody gets an idea about this site. They don't know exactly all about all the topo and all the drainage, but you've got just this basic idea of it. And of course, we want to list where the existing residence is. And we don't have to have a full, oops, looks like I'm going to have to delete that one and put it in somewhere else. But we just want some region here again that says existing residence. It doesn't have to be the residence, but you should kind of make it the right size, right? So this is your existing site plan, and this will say so whatever is there that's existing, if there's other major existing things on the lot, you want to just look at Google Maps and check it out. So let's go see what that'll look like. Where is it? Here it is. So we can zoom in on that thing. And you can see this looks like it's hanging over a little bit, actually, even. Okay, oh, it's because it's seeing some of this stuff. So you can put this building in and this little garage building and probably just those two buildings, and you can put trees in here. You can note that there's existing trees here, 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 and here. They don't have to be in just the right spot, but you want to be sorta kind of close. Okay, so you can just list this area of existing trees, existing residence, existing garage. You could put this sort of pathway around it. Whatever looks like it really is existing, you want to do it, but just in this very simplified way. Okay, so looks like it's really not quite that big. Something like that. And of course, I just did something like this and it needs to rotate. Looks like it rotates a little bit. And if you can estimate the square foot on the residence, that's good. So you can come into Google Earth here and I can get an estimate. This is, see down here, that's 20 feet. I'm just doing it with my fingers. It's about 30 feet by 40 feet, approximately 1,200 square feet. And we can ask them, but for what we're doing right now, we'll do that. Existing residents. There we go. And that's what so we did pretty good. We got through a bunch of the drawings. There's your existing site plan. Okay, now this has to come up here. And I know I don't have enough room right now to show my 3D view, but that's okay. If I want to, I can do it. I can move things over and I can squeeze them in. I probably have to go one size further down on on this. I probably have to change it just a hair to get that 3D view in. And I'd rather leave this at my 1 inch equals 60. So I'll make a change to that. This will let people know, okay, I see all the development is over here and this is all blank over here and there's a little roadway cut right around here and there's a little garden over here. So you want to spend some time to make this look right. Okie doke. And I went over just a little bit, but do you have any questions?
I don't think so. I think that gives me a really good base to start from and start working from.
Cool. And then you can just keep on going and going and going. And I'll do some more tomorrow and I'll do some more Friday. And you should be well on your way by the end of this week. Okie doke.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
There we go. I'm going to turn off the recording.